What's up, everyone? Yeah, it's been a while. I'll just start a new one. I was gonna like continue off of one of these, but we'll go with something fresh. Not really sure what this character is gonna be yet. Probably some sort of explorer. What ink do I use? It's I think I have it in the description, but I have a bottle over here. Yeah, this is what the bottle looks like. I'm pretty sure it's called like Moon Palace, Sumi Ink. By the way, I hope you're well. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Oh, I don't think zooming in makes it any better. Yo, thank you, Pieta, for the 5. Can you draw a man who is celery stalk with a space helmet and jetpack flying out of a vegetable tray? Yeah, sure, man. I'll go for that. And you again for the 5. Celery stalk with space helmet and a jetpack flying out of a vegetable tree. Sick drawing, thank you, man. Sounds like something VeggieTales would do. A celery stalk is just like the sticks, right? Okay, yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Space helmet and jetpack. Only for bro to end up in rancid somehow. Thanks for showing the ink, by the way. So I was eating dinner. Yeah, no problem, man. But on a serious note, very nice brushwork. Thank you. The legend is here. I tried to be as good as you. I think you can probably be a lot better, honestly. I appreciate that, man. This is definitely the strangest request I think I've gotten. Celery jumping off of a vegetable, some sort of vegetable plate with a space helmet. I like it though. Since you guys for the spacesuit, I kind of decided to put, or you guys for the space helmet, so I kind of decided to put a little bit of a suit on him. Put some like tomato slices on the outside out here. It's time for the adventures of Celery Man in space. Celery Man versus Veggie Plant Overlord. That'd be a crazy story. Maybe the Celery Man was wondering what was past just being a piece of celery on a platter. Maybe that's why he was able to go to space. He was able to like kind of think past with the other veggies around him. He's not like the other veg. Yep. He has potential and ambition, not like the tomatoes. Yeah, the whole time the tomatoes are like telling him that he can't go to space. That's like the motivation for the character is that he wants to prove the tomatoes wrong. unique and quirky veggie queen. All right, to kind of wrap the celery character in the scene, can I add a little planet that he's trying to get to? All right, there you go, Paida. There's your celery stalk with a space helmet and jetpack. Flying out of a vegetable tray. Mhm. Excellent work. Thank you. I'll probably go through and color some of it once I have more of the scene in there. Especially to kind of like make some of the tomatoes easier to see. I'll color the celery green. Have I ever drawn a dragon eating KFC chicken? Not that specifically, no. KFC would be amazing to see, not gonna lie. Yeah, I'm bringing back the like donations to draw a character. So if you super chat $5 or more, then I'll draw a character of your choosing. But I can't draw any like copywritten characters since I wanna like do prints of these later and also put them in like a book. So but yeah, if you donate $5 or more through super chat, then you can kind of like make up whatever character or thing you want. Yeah, and it's like I have some more things in the description if it's something you guys want. But yeah, I'll probably bring that back for a while. Well, the Celery Man definitely changed the vibe of this wanderer back here. Celery Man is his travel companion now. Yeah. He's ascended from being on the vegetable tray though. Almost like a Pokemon. He's evolved into his new form. Yeah, I do agree though, Sub-Zero, I probably it probably would push the limits of the art world if I drew a dragon eating KFC. Who knows what abilities someone might gain from from creating that. I gave him a sword. Maybe he needs to stop Celery Man. Betchy might. Man in his tray of terror. He's able to drop the veggies with trays. Suddenly Bryce's art obtained the power of 11 mystery herbs and spices. Yeah, on all my drawings now, I'm just gonna start putting herbs and spices everywhere. It's my newfound passion. Mm. ChatGPT would never be able to pull off this masterpiece. Yeah, probably not. It would probably give up as soon as it heard to draw celery, a celery character. It'd probably be too scared. This guy has the almighty sword of power. I should draw some like lightning or like some kind of power effect coming off his sword. There we go. Since he's like some kind of traveler, maybe he found this legendary sword in some kind of dungeon. Have his other hand kind of grabbing onto maybe the lights. I'm like, no, Celery, man, don't go. Maybe he's like really lonely on his travels too, and the only friend that he made was Celery Man along the way. I'm sorry, man. I must heed the calling, bro. He's just craving a no calories. Get some like baby tomatoes on this plate. I didn't do any lettuce. So I feel like that would be kind of a obvious vegetable to have in these. Oh yeah, and some broccoli. Couple carrots. Dude, my rabbit would like love eating all of this. My rabbit would probably eat celery, man. Now this is what I call epic mealtime. I'll probably add a bit of color after. Finish his pants and his legs. Give your bunny our love. Oh, you have a bunny? Yeah. Yeah, sometimes he makes really good background noise for my videos too. Lettuce is canceled. You should have 1 million subs. This is the gym of a live stream. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Maybe someday. I appreciate that, dude. Bunnies and hedgehogs are great pals to have around. Yeah, bunnies are a lot of fun, but a lot of work at the same time too. Alright, I think it's probably good for some shadows on there. I'm gonna add a bit of color. probably best if I color pretty quickly after I draw so that I at least know kind of what things are still. If I wait too long and then come back later, things get a little weird for kind of figuring out like where my lines were. It's kind of nice. I have like some of the colors figured out for this marker set, but like a couple weeks ago, I didn't have anything. I didn't have like any of the colors, so it's really hard to find light colors since a lot of them are midtones, and one of the packs is like literally just all midtones. But it's a lot easier when you know kind of what colors you have. I still kind of like pick blind though. A lot of times I'll just like grab one, see kind of what color it is, and then go with it, which kind of helps get something down right away. And I don't have to like check on a different page constantly for what color I'm using. Oops. There's probably a red in here called tomato red, I'm guessing. Maybe not in this one. Oh, I guess I don't have tomato red in these. I'm gonna find out where all my tomatoes went. Where'd all my tomatoes go? Hello, dear artist. May I ask your advice? Advice for what? The sword of glowing mustard. Yeah, that would be funny actually. how crazy this orange is. You just kind of pick the brightest cap. I can draw two-figure compositions, for example. I have an idea for an art where a mother hugs her daughter. I do not know how to approach the solution of this plot correctly. I don't think there's really any like correct way to go about it. I think. One sec. If I was gonna go for like a scene like that, like mother hugging her daughter. I have way too much ink on the brush. Yeah, I don't know. If I'm like kind of thinking of something to do like that, I'll just kind of go with the first thing that happens. So if I was gonna, at first I'd probably like just personally, I'd start with the mother since she's gonna be like kind of a lot larger than the kid. And I don't know. I'd probably like the first thing that kind of came to mind was something more simple. Yeah, kind of just like go for something honestly. And the kid's gonna be a lot shorter. And with a scene like this where like they're hugging, you really won't see much of their faces. Kind of like if you think about movie scenes and different things. Since usually when someone hugs, they're like, especially for the kid's face would probably just be pretty buried. Yeah, and really just after this, it's kind of like pretty much already done. Like just having the kid here and the mom's face there. So that's kind of like to start with the head since that's an easy way to go with it. And then from there, then it's just kind of like I'm just thinking about what kind of clothes should I put on the kid and the mom. And then since she's a lot shorter, yeah, like composition wise too, I like to go a lot off the black since I'm using ink. So having like dark around, kind of like what I want to do for the focal point. So the mom is definitely like a strong focal point, and then the kid as well. And having using black as a focal point, since black has a lot of contrast with the white, so I can put kind of like a cast shadow down where the girl's arm goes onto this sort of dress. And if I get a strong contrast between the light and the dark, and really I don't have to draw much of the kid, and it's probably wouldn't be much showing of her since they're like pretty close together. I mean, like for just like shape wise, if two things are like really close together, then you won't see it as much. Kind of like if I don't know, a ball was behind a square or that sort of thing, or if like a triangle was or a pyramid was off to the side here. Like the square is blocking these off, so you won't see these other halves. So kind of that idea is, I guess you could like simplify it into something like that. But yeah, I kind of just go for like the first thing that I think of, and kind of just like trying to get the idea down right away. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, and I mean, if you add color, things get a lot easier too. I think really the from like my personal experience, the three best things for kind of like focal points are like strong difference between blacks and whites, and then color is also really strong for focal points. But yeah, the one thing that one thing that can be a little destroying of focal points is definitely shadow can really destroy some focal points. Since if you follow light and shadow, things can get a little bit hard to tell what things are. But also shadow's a lot easier to pull off if you kind of have the other ones set up as well. But yeah. Will you make prints of Celery, man? Yeah, I'm gonna try to work on prints as like the next thing. With what I'm planning to do for prints, I'll need to get a website, which will take a little bit of work, but I'll I'll probably get on that. But yeah, definitely in the future, like all of these drawings I've done on stream and different things like that, yeah, will definitely be made into prints. Can I ask you an additional question? Do you always start with details and see where it takes you? Yeah, most of the time I kind of use the details to kind of like move around the page and kind of like use it to yeah, really just move around the page. It's not really like too complex, I guess. But like yeah, so if I'm gonna do on this drawing, like let's say I want a character over here and I'm kind of have like a little bit of an idea. I want to make him some kind of like minotaur, and I want him to be closer to the camera. Then I usually like the details kind of do the work, I guess, and kind of go off of that, and that helps the rest of the drawing as well. So like focusing on the horn and kind of like sculpting out the horn first will just make it a lot easier for me to go further with the character as well. Since I'm kind of like scoping out a piece of the character and then basically everything else on that character will kind of follow the same kind of form. Especially like the parts that connect to the face. And I kind of talked about in like previous streams and videos a lot that like for like perspective, whenever I place the legs down onto the floor, that's kind of like one of the most important parts for a lot of like the more scene drawings, since it's like the really the first time that the floor is kind of like established. Like for here, kind of like with this foot down here, really like tells me where his cast shadow is gonna be. It's kind of like going downward. If I had a really strong sunlight, and then kind of just using different features and pulling them down can give me some sort of cast shadow. Yeah, so placing the horn on the face is pretty much the same as someone's feet being on the ground. But yeah, the details are like pretty much the main thing that I draw with, and they're kind of like my guides, or at least like a comparison tool kind of thing. Before you start drawing from imagination, do you need to overcome some threshold, made sketches from nature, or can you start doing it right away? The main thing is to approach it correctly. Um, I don't think there's like a correct way to really go about like drawing in general. I think everyone kind of has like a approach and kind of like improves kind of like everyone kind of adds their own sort of like little minor changes and like different things over time. And I don't think there's like anything you have to do before drawing from imagination. I think it's just kind of like the more you draw from imagination, the better you're gonna get that kind of connection between your mind and your hand, and it'll just become a lot easier over time to just create things really. And I think, yeah, I don't think there's anything you have to do prior, and yeah, I don't think there's like a correct way. I think, I mean, you can draw without the fundamentals, and, and like that works too, and you can make like some pretty cool stuff with that too. And I don't know, honestly, if someone had never drawn before, um I think just kind of like starting drawing from imagination, if that's something that they would want to do, then just kind of starting as soon as possible and getting kind of a feel for what it's like. And then you can always add to it. And I think a lot of things make sense when you have like a strong, like, it's kind of like I used to work in like a factory, and to learn jobs, I had to actually like try out the job, like have like hands-on learning, because if someone told me how to like do the job, and they handed me a sheet that had like diagrams or different things of how it's built, that like wouldn't really help me at all. Like it's kind of like the information just doesn't make sense until it actually like hands-on start creating in like that environment. And then once you kind of go through a couple times, then that information is then like usable because you already know kind of how everything works. And then it's kind of just improving what you're already doing. And yeah, like you can always start drawing from imagination, and then you learn like a little bit of anatomy. I think really for like the learning part, following what you're interested in and kind of like have fun with, I think is really will excel like you're learning, because if you're not having fun with something, it'll probably be way harder to learn it than if you're compared to like someone who's like really enjoys certain things. And it's kind of what I did for different things. Well, I tried learning like all of the fundamentals, like just kind of like trying to speed run them, and that just kind of like creates burnout really quick, and kind of made me like not enjoy art, but kind of like just drawing random stuff, and then I'll like just pick up on like little things along the way, and then I just add them. And like a lot of times it's just like stuff that I see in real life or in movies. Honestly, it's like a lot of what I learned from. Life drawing go bird. Yeah, personally I don't do much life drawing, but like I know a lot of people like doing life drawings. I could see it being pretty relaxing. I don't even know the last time I did did a life drawing. I think I was probably I don't even know. It's probably been like 3 years, I think, since I did one. Did I swear by life drawing? It opened up some doors in me I never thought I had. I've studied the academic base and understand how not even to draw but to build certain images from nature and from memory, but nowhere did I find information about multi-figure compositions from memory. Yeah, I think it's really all the same thing. It's just kind of like more like kind of like if you already know a lot of the um different things for drawing single characters, then having more characters on a page is really the same thing. Because like if I wanted, let's say like continuing this scene, I wanted to do like add the dad or something. Then I have kind of two options for like how much room I'm left with here. So I could put the dad on the left side or right side, and I think I kind of like the this side more, since then I have like a some kind of slope. So, and just for like perspective, I could just make him taller than the female over here. And then like it's the same as drawing this character, but then I'm just making them larger and over here. It's gonna be a bit of a pain to cover this, but so then like from here, creating a scene. It's pretty similar to just drawing the first two characters. And if you kind of think of like a stamp or something, or if you've done digital art, then like the being able to resize and like use the selection tool is kind of what I do for drawing multiple characters in a scene. So this is kind of like his tuxedo. Alright, I don't know what to do with this big black area up here, but why not make it into the scene? yeah, so a lot when I'm doing the scenes and things with a lot of characters, I'm just kind of thinking like what is around the characters if I'm gonna do more of a some kind of background. So maybe they're at some kind of train station. And I don't even know what a train station looks like, so I'll kind of make up my own. So like from here, it's a lot of made up, made up things, really. I guess that's kind of like a good sum of it too. Is just that a lot of a lot of drawing is just things and placing things in different spots. And then since I made something out of that blob up there, I could do the same thing here. And he's kind of is just kind of a guy that's already like I feel like he's got a good size already for where he's at in perspective. And sometimes I'll kind of make like little story things to add to the scene, and it kind of like feels it sometimes. So she's maybe like crying because she doesn't want to go with this weird looking shape man with a, a square, a circle, and a triangle for his head. And especially with multiple characters, a lot of overlaps happen. So kind of like how you would overlap arms on the backside and different things. Same thing would happen for characters. And then from here, not sure if I would go with this guy either onto a bus, but don't worry, darling. Fundamentals man will take you, he'll keep you safe. And then once I have the feet onto the ground, that's like a really um kind of key part, I guess, while I'm drawing. Especially once I get to that point, then I kind of like, I guess, clean up the perspective and have everything go with that. So then like I could add more characters around, and then I kind of think of like so this is a train station kind of thing, and think about what's around in this area. Not really a good way to place this paper down, but so maybe just to the right here and kind of close to us. Somebody left a banana peel into a trash can. Have some like wound up paper. I don't know, maybe a pencil. And just kind of like different garbage around. And then when I do an item like that, sometimes a lot of things like to repeat, especially like in some kind of like, well, in nature and a lot of man-made things. So like there's probably another trash can down here. And then kind of have the floor established. And this dude is pretty tall. So I could have um maybe another character back here. And a lot of times when I'm doing the characters and having more than one in a scene, I'll just like start with just the head or like any piece and just kind of like go for it even if it looks a little off from the start, because I can always, through the details in different parts of the character, can always put it back into perspective or fits the proportions or add something different. So then from here, especially when you get deeper into the scene, adding more characters is a lot easier and easier, since for me to add a character here, like I don't have to do as much work detail wise, since like I'll, things lose detail the further back they are, and plus also the eyes can't focus on a very wide area. So especially since the focus is here, the eyes won't care as much if things aren't as deep in different areas. Geometric father scolded his daughter for a bad grade in geometry. Yeah, that could be the story. And then from here, I could use that guy's foot spots to kind of like go where the rest of the train station would be. And then these characters back here can just be like very, very out of it. But yeah, kind of something like this. But yeah, really there's nothing different about adding more characters to a scene than adding one. It's just kind of like resizing the characters, placing them in different spots, and that's pretty much it. So if you know how to draw one character, then you can draw 1,000 characters on a page. This dude's hair, I'm kind of gonna go off of how my dog, how my dog's looks. There's like a lot of short hair, and then all of a sudden it's like a line mane. Like that'd be pretty cool for a character. I don't know if you did a whole side quest. It was the filler episode. Yeah, it was definitely the filler episode. Yeah, it's kind of funny when I do time lapse videos or sped up ones of the stream. I always get comments asking why why I go to a different page to draw something else like during the drawing. It's pretty funny. I get it though, cause like during the live stream, it's like I'm just like working on like three different drawings during during the thing. Or it looks like I kind of get like bored of one drawing, and then I'm just like starting new projects or whatever. Bob Ross and Rick and Morty kind of vibe. Yeah. Bob Ross, Rick and Morty collab. Alright, from this guy, I have no idea what I'm gonna draw next. Are you drawing a warrior merchant? Is he fighting evil while simultaneously offering his enemies lucrative offers? So yeah, pretty much that describes it pretty well. This is a lettuce astronaut kind of thing coming off of some trays of veggies, and yeah, this is a traveling collector kind of character. I don't know who this guy is yet, but he's some kind of warrior orc kind of thing. Maybe that's what they run into out here. Lord Vegemite and Celery Man featuring Mysterious Bull. Yeah, I'll probably draw a few characters like him. Kinda, maybe there's some side thing that they ran into along the way. Well, sometimes the hands end up in weird spots, and I gotta like choose the the right arm so that the hands don't break. You're gonna go to dinner. Take care, everybody. Yeah, man. Take it easy. Hope you enjoy your dinner. Not sure how many of these horns characters I'm gonna do. Usually, whenever I'm doing a drawing, I'll kind of repeat like an idea, kind of if I find it's like pretty fun. I'll just repeat that idea until I get bored of that idea, and then I'll go into another one. Usually, kind of like change them up each one though. Give this dude some lights. I've not seen that movie, Carnage. The drawing is awesome. Thank you, man. We'll see where it goes. Maybe I should add some shadow on them. And shadows are either my best friend or they feel like gambling sometimes. I think out of like all the things that I do in a drawing, adding shadows is probably the one thing that a lot can go wrong. I think a lot of it too is that um like you can follow kind of certain lighting setups, but sometimes the lighting setup doesn't always work in like every scenario. So sometimes I'll have to come up with my own like or a specific lighting setup that works for the scene, kind of to keep things working out. Like especially if I did like top down on every character and kept it consistent throughout the whole scene, then I have like there'd be like certain things that'd be in total shadow that I wouldn't necessarily want to be in shadow. Like there should probably be like a cast shadow over this tray, but or like different things like that. And a lot of characters start to get very blocked out, and sometimes those characters could be like your main focal points, but then how like if you kind of followed a realistic shadow setup, then it might drown out your your main character. I think I finally understand what you're drawing. You're drawing something cool. Yeah, sometimes the drawings take a while to get rolling, or start to get some like clarity. It's kind of like painting, where kind of just like rendering out forms in it. It's like a bunch of random stuff, and then it kind of like tidies up at the end. Especially like before shading or adding blacks, when it's a bunch of just line art, kind of makes this like weird effect happen where if you like just have line art, a lot of the open white space like peeks through the line art, and especially when you have a lot of characters, then having them all just lines, the background starts to kind of like go through the characters. I don't really know how to explain it, but it definitely makes it like much harder to read. But yeah, shadows can kind of clean that up and adding color. think I'll color some of these guys. Jeez, I'm actually kind of drawing fast. I think faster than normal at least. Kind of like this color. Apricot pink. It's the first time I've kind of tried this with markers. Kind of changing between a lot of different saturations and tones. And kind of like what I did with the other parts, and kind of add in some of the stuff I do for painting with the markers though. Usually I would just go in with flats right away. Honestly, this takes around the same speed though, so. Kind of lets me like render things out a bit more. Yo, Pieta, thank you for the 5, man. You have to go, but great drawing. Have a good evening. Yeah, man, take it easy. I appreciate it a lot for the donations and thanks for stopping by the stream, man. Are you afraid you've come this far and you're not afraid to mess it up? No, not really, because I don't know. It's not really like fear making mistakes for my drawings. I kind of just like I don't know. I don't know if it's because I like draw so much or what, but yeah, I kind of like just don't get afraid anymore for drawing. I think I use a lot of like the mistakes to kind of like turn them around into something positive too. I think that kind of helps. Especially with like color, since I already have the drawing down, so I can't really like if I distort it with color, it'd be very like minor. Since I already have the blacks will be stronger than the color. But yeah, that's kind of funny you said that though, because honestly, I don't know. I don't like think about fear really when I draw now. I used to a lot, but I think it's kind of just slowly went away after after doing like a lot of drawings. It just kind of I don't know. I think I know kind of like what to expect maybe, and I mean it is just a piece of paper, and I can just like go on to another one if something like crazy did happen where it was like unsalvageable. Long live Celery man. Yeah, man, he's going to the space. He's floating in the stars. Yeah, man, take it easy, Carnage. Thanks for stopping by the stream, man. Man, this pink is bright. What's it look like on? Oh, it's more like red on camera, I guess. Oh no, I guess it looks pretty pink on camera. I feel like it's a lot brighter in off camera. Coloring is always so relaxing though. I like that's just you have a large open area and you just gotta fill that open area. There's really not much thought to it. Besides choosing the colors, I think choosing the colors kind of have like a. Sometimes I think about kind of which color I want to choose and that sort of thing. But usually it's just most of the time the coverage kind of takes the time of it. Almost forgot that dude's nose. There's been so many times that when I'm coloring with markers or just anything, I always like color something wrong. Like at least a few times every drawing. There's like a couple characters or there'll be it happens a lot to like their skin. I don't know why, but I'll be drawing like maybe they have like a blue shirt or something and kind of maybe a lot of detailed like him. And then I'm like, oh shoot, I accidentally colored like his hand blue or something. Wow, it's a bit dark. All right, that works. What goes good with pink? I'll give them some sunflower hair. Color of sunflowers. Oh yeah, that was definitely the move. Oh weird. I mean, but this yellow like mixing over. It's a orange. I should use some of that. It's kind of like start mixing it in there. Oh no, they're looking like carrots now. I get like a little bit of color difference in here. The other day I was messing around on Procreate on my iPad and it was kind of fun. I was like just kind of painting, but I did a couple paintings, not really like adjusting the darkness of the colors, but mostly changing like saturation. So if I was gonna do a shadow, I would just change this only the saturation or the hue, and it like creates enough separation to where you can still do like shadow shapes and different things. I know it's pretty cool. Kind of what the blending the yellow into the orange reminded me of. Just kind of like adding another, like any kind of difference in shade, color, or that sort of thing. Kind of can use it to render in a little bit more detail. kind of by adding more dimensions to it. Oh, almost forgot his hair. I think after I color this guy's hair, I'm probably gonna call it a day for streaming, and then I'll work on this one tomorrow again. I could like brute force the rest of this drawing, but I've kind of learned lately that that leads to like burnout pretty easily. And also my hand's gonna be is a kind of already sore. I used to kind of just like draw through the pain. But yeah, nowadays I kind of like just draw and then like use up all the art juice for the day, and then I usually like come back. Like I'll probably like sketch and doodle in my sketchbook later once my hand's pretty rested. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for the stream. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for the donations and that sort of thing. And yeah, um, we finally hit 5K subscribers today or yesterday, can't remember. But yeah, I honestly never would have thought that I'd have 5,000 subscribers when like I think not even what 4 or 5 months ago I had like 600. So yeah, that's crazy. Thank you for everyone that's been along for the ride. And yeah, catch you guys in another one.